Was good, y'all. Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger. And yes, today is Friday, which means we got the double uploads back until Sunday. So, man, I just want y'all to know that first things first, I just gotta thank God for giving me this opportunity. I hope y'all are having a great start to your weekend. Today, I got a very fire build lined up for y'all. Going to be called the Playmaking Paint Beast, and the first ever of its kind that is going to be able to shoot and get all of the contact dunks when it comes down to it. So, before we get any further into the video, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody looking to join RGF the Rich Gang family, go ahead and turn on post notifications, but also do not forget to hit that like button. Let's go ahead and get 50 big likes on this banger. Share it with your family and friends. And man, thank y'all to those of you who just hit that like button. I just want you to know that I love every single one of y'all who was watching. Just know that also we're going to the top. I'm telling y'all, we're going to be hitting 10K, 10,000 big supporters of the Rich Gang family this year. So, when it comes down to the position on this build, go ahead and put it under the power forward position. Now, this build, I'm pretty sure you can make it out of the center, but when it comes down to the power forward, this is going to be the wave when it comes down to this specific build. Now, when it comes down to the pie chart, y'all going to be very careful with which one you pick, because look, you definitely want to go ahead and be sure that you're going to be picking the pie chart where you're going to be getting Hall of Fame finishing badges, and then you're going to be able to get a good amount of the defensive. So this one right here, blue, red, but with a little bit more of the blue than the red. Now, when it comes down to the physical profile, a lot of people like to pick the very first one for the speed, but look at the difference when it comes down to the vertical. I'm actually going to go ahead and change up the meta, and actually, this, in my opinion, is going to be the very best one to pick, because when we change everything else with the height, weight, and wingspan, the physicals are going to go crazier than what you have probably seen on the Playmaking Paint Beast in this year and also past years. But now, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the finishing. So, with the close shot, I'm going to go with an 89. When it comes down to the driving layup, I'm going to go ahead and put this to a 66. Driving dunk, we're actually going to go ahead and max this out at 91. So far, so good. And then, when it comes down to the statty dunk, we're going to go ahead and put this all the way up to a 92. 25 finishing badges, y'all. Very solid so far. Now, on this specific version, it's only worth it to upgrade the mid-range, because if you put anything into the three-pointer, going to be too low no matter what you do with this build. But there is also another version of this Playmaking Paint Beast to where the three-pointer and the mid-range are both going to be in the 70s. So if y'all want that version, drop a like and I most definitely got y'all. But with this one, you're still going to be able to hit the mid-range, so do not worry. Now, playmaking, you're going to go ahead and put that pass accuracy to a 65. Ball handle, max it out, and post control, same exact thing. We're going to be able to get 13 badges right there, which is super solid. Now let's go ahead and get into the defense. Max out your interior, perimeter, lateral quickness. Skip over the steal just for now, but when it comes down to the block, you want to go ahead and max this out as well. Same exact thing for the defensive rebound. 34 remaining upgrades, so go ahead and max out your offensive rebound, and that's going to give us 23 badges right there, y'all. Now, if you want to manipulate the stats in any area, feel free to go about it and do it. But again, with my preference, it's really just based on how you see yourself using this build and which stat setup that you like the most. Now, the reason why I say that is because if you want to go ahead and try to get extra badges in a certain area, you definitely can go ahead and do that. For example, if you want to, go ahead and drop down that mid-range, go ahead and throw it into the finishing if you want to go about it that way. Or you can also go ahead and throw it into the defensive side of things. It's really just going to come down to how you see yourself using this build. Again, the more versatility that comes with this kind of build, I have to say that's going to be the best route to go about it. But again, if you also want to go ahead and just put on the most badges possible, that is another route that you can definitely go with. But for my liking, I want to be able to take this build to the 1v1 court and hit some shots. So I'm going to leave it like this. Body shape, you definitely want to go ahead and pick one that's going to take up a lot of space. So for my preference, that's going to be between defined, burly, as well as build. For me, I really feel like burly and build are going to be the two best ones to go with. But if you feel like choosing another one, go ahead and base it off of your own preference. Now, when it comes down to the height on this build, you got to go ahead and put this build at 6'7", y'all. Perfect height. When it comes down to it, we get a huge boost when it comes down to the speed as well as that vertical. Now, as for the weight, if you want to, go ahead and max it out in order to get a very high strength. But if you want to go another route, you can definitely go ahead and drop your weight all the way down to the lowest. It really just comes down to what you seek fit. But again, I want to be able to bully in the paint, y'all. So again, that strength is definitely going to come in clutch. That very high vertical at 94 honestly makes it super toxic. Now, when it comes down to the next part of this build with the wingspan, be sure to just make sure that you are following along when it comes down to this specific part of the build. You want to go ahead and max it out. This is what's going to get the best defensive stats as well as the best finishing stats. Now, we only take a -2 hit when it comes down to that mid-range shot. As you can see, if you lower it, definitely not worth going about it that way. But on the speed right here, we get a good amount of speed with the +8. So it's going to be around an 85. Acceleration, going to be an 84. 99 vertical, 80 strength, y'all. Everything that goes into this build, I'm telling you, definitely going to be worth your time grinding out. Going to be able to use this build in any game mode. As you can see, we're going to be able to unlock all of the contact dunks. Mid-range shot with boost and grind this build out to 99 will be in the 70s. Ball handle has the potential to speed boost depending on which takeover you pick. And then onto the defense, y'all. A lot of these stats are going to be hitting the mid to high 90s, especially if you're running with a teammate that is going to have defensive leader, y'all. Very toxic, rare, and overpowered build. Now remember, if you want to change anything about anything on this build, height, weight, wingspan, main stats, even the pie charts, you are subjected to actually changing the build name. Now, if you want to go offensive heavy on this build, picking that slasher takeover, definitely going to be a good one. You can also go with the rim protector. That is definitely going to be a huge help on the defensive end, or even the glass cleaning. I'm going to go with the defensive one. And as y'all can see, we have made the first ever shooting playmaking paint beast that's going to be able to get every single contact dunk in this game. But now from here, let's go ahead and check out what this build is actually going to be looking like once we grind it out to 99. But then from there, we're going to go ahead and get into the build and the badges from the end. So again, just remember, on this build, you're going to be getting a +8 to literally your physicals and honestly, even the main stats, depending on if you grind this build out and buy boost. Now, let's go ahead and get into these badges. The first one I'm hitting y'all with, Posterizer and Limitless Takeoff, both on Hall of Fame. From here, as you can see, we got 17 more to work with. I'm going to go with Slithery Finisher as well. Then from there, I'm going to go with Unstrippable on Bronze. 12 more that we're going to be able to work with. For my preference, I like Fearless Finisher. Another one that you can throw on this build. Go ahead and put on Fast Twitch or even Rise Up. It really just comes down to what you want to do on this build. But if you feel like even spreading the wealth, that is another way that you can go about it. I feel like Rise Up is going to be a solid badge. But now, let's go ahead and get into the shooting. You could go with Corner Specialist if you want to, Volume Shooter, Catch and Shoot, or even Deadeye. For my preference, I really feel like Corner Specialist is going to be the best one that you can go with, especially because you're going to be able to just go to the corner, use this badge, and shoot the shot, and you're going to see it activated. Again, you can just go ahead and pick whichever badge you feel like is going to be the best overall. And also, I just need y'all to keep in mind that when it comes down to these badge setups, these are all based off of my own preference. So if you feel like going with something based off of your own preference, definitely gonna be the way and the road to take, y'all. Now, when it comes to the playmaking, I'm gonna go with first, gold, quick first step, quick chain, unpluckable on bronze, and then from there, I'm gonna go with triple threat juke as well as hyperdrive. If you want to change anything about this build, you definitely can do that. But now, let's go ahead and get into the defensive, y'all. 23 badges that we're going to be able to work with. The first one, I'm going to go with Intimidator on gold as well as Clamps. Now we got 17 more that we're going to be able to work with. I'm going to throw on Chase Down Artist as well as Rim Protector, both on gold. Now as for Rebound Chaser, an essential badge that you cannot forget, you can also go ahead and throw on Pogo Stick on silver. Then from there, I'm going to go with Hustler. And the very last badge I feel like is going to be very important, Tireless Defender or Menace. Both of these are going to be solid, but that's the final setup we're going with. 23 defensive, 13 playmaking, 1 shooting, and 25 finishing. Again, thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity to be able to display this build and also have me in other people's lives as well as them in mine. I just need y'all to know, shout out to the Rich Gang family. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I got another banger dropping for y'all later today, so be sure to stay tuned to get that weekend started and packed. But man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody looking to join RGF, the Rich Gang family, go ahead and turn on post notifications. And can we get 50 big likes on this banger? Man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Thank God and Rich out.